in the forest.
She learn how to talk.
How the birds.
Okay.
Yes, so that is how wonderful human nature is. That the human nature, God has designed it in a way that it can easily adapt to the environment in which you found it. The person. So parenting or guiding or nurturing the young people at that age one, as much as possible, depend on the environment.
Okay.
Because raising a teen in Africa is different from raising a teen in Europe, Asia, or any other part of the world. So the environment is very, very important when you consider this conversation. The environment can be divided into several segments. People are raised from Christian home, people are raised on the street, people are raised in the public, people are raised in a good school, and all kind of environments.
Okay.
So all these segments determine how a child grows up.
What would you determine or consider as a favorable environment?
A favorable environment is relative to whatever you are looking at, or subjective. I've come to learn that in life we have several ways of thinking.
Yeah, you don't put yourself in a box.
Yeah, people think that the truth is one, and whatever it is, that is what it is. And others also think the truth can be multiple. Depends on how you go about it. Okay. So favorable is subjective, but relative good. I will look at it like that.
Yeah.
Yes, relative.
It's a universal kind of good.
Universal kind of good that almost everybody will accept. This guy or this person is developing well, or these are basic things that happen to people across board, whether Europe, wherever you find yourself, whichever environment you find. A teenager, they will always be hungry. They will always be growing. There are things that will be coming on biologically on them. These are general things one need to guide. So when we are coming to this, I think we may need to look at these things in perspective. We could look at the spiritual, we could look at educational, we could look at health, we could look at social development. So maybe as the conversation goes on, we'll be taking them one by one to address them.
Okay, so the match just kick off, and we have Rev in the house, and then we are talking about parenting teens. So for now, feel free to join the conversation by sending us your messages via the WhatsApp numbers at the left-hand side of your screen, and then soon we will open the phone line. So for now, send your messages to us, and then we'll start reading them. Whatever question you have concerning parenting teens, you are welcome. Feel free and then join the conversation by sending them to us via the WhatsApp numbers, which is at the left-hand side of your screen. Right.
All right, Rev, let's get to the thrust of the conversation. So, in my reading prior to today, I discovered that the age 14 is a very, very difficult age for most teens, universally. Do you concur to that, and why is it so, if you do?
14.
Yes.
Okay. So yes, if I look at it for me, I'll look at it for one. At least those of us we call reverend, those things theologically, we believe number 7 is a number of completion, very effective number. So 14 is double of 7. Okay. So the first 7. Child is subject, this is a second 7, and it's a critical age where, like we are saying, most teenagers don't just develop. Some develop as early as 9. Around 11, 12, you begin to see changes. By the time you get to 14, at least, averagely or generally, everybody is getting to a point. And around that age, the reason why people will say it's difficult is that around that age, you maybe see the boy or the girl as a child. He may start seeing himself as a mature person.
That's a conflict.
Yes.
First point of conflict.
It's a very, very critical, yes. you start seeing him or herself coming out of a childhood. So his expectations are that you don't treat him as a child. But parents also know you are still a child.
Yeah.
Or people in society will still say, oh, this is a small boy, small girl. But psychologically, this child is thinking differently. You see, some of them will start growing beards. The ladies will start putting on
brass.
Their menstrual process will start. So how should you be telling him or her she's a child? She knew she started growing, she's becoming a... So at that age, that conflict alone, psychologically is there. So to manage that transition, that is why people will think the 14 is a difficult, because actually, yes, I remembered when I was around 14 years, in church, my life is more about church things, so I may be citing more of that example. We used to be in charge evangelism group. They treat us as children. We go to Sunday school. But when I got to 14, fortunately, some of us developed very fast. I became a youth leader. I was appointed into leadership. So I'm not expecting anybody to treat me like a child. No, I'm a youth, and I'm also growing. Meanwhile, there are certain things you will grow up to know. You are, after all, you don't know anything. You don't know anything at that age. You don't really understand anything. But I'll see myself, no, when I go to church, I should be able to sit among the adults. When they are talking, I should speak. And you'll be thinking you have the best knowledge. Your ambitions will start developing. You want to be the champion, all kind of things. So managing that conflict, I think that is why people will say it's a difficult age, but like I'm saying, once you have the knowledge around it and manage and guide the people for that transition, they will go through. And in fact, it is important to know that at that age, you manage the expectations. You manage the expectation. At some point, I'll be picking them one by one when they come.
All right, awesome. So we're going to get into that part where we pick the managing of expectations of the 14-year-old. Rev has established, per the reading that I did, that at the age of 14, thereabout, biblically it represents to perfection or double perfection. So it's a transition from first 7 to another 7. Hence, there's a bit of a turbulence in them in terms of what they want to do. They see themselves as adults and they want to do things like an adult and probably speak like an adult, do everything like an adult. Hence, there's a bit of a conflict between them and mostly their parents, who are unable to manage such issues. So we're going to get into the pointers of management, the things that parents should possibly manage. That's where you ended. So the things you think, expectations and all that. On one hand, the child, the teen, I use the child, the teen, and on one hand, the parent, how they can manage or match the two. So Rev, let's look at those.
Yes, so number one, like I said, at that point, the I don't know that to call the teen. They begin to develop high expectations. Very high expectations, like we all understand, because of the biological development. When you look at it biologically, the ladies will begin to look at their beauty, the kind of hairs they see in society. People are doing
their body shape,
body shapes. They begin to hear news, they watch the television, they watch beauty pageants and all that. So they begin to put themselves into those positions. And at that point, everybody wants to be the greatest person in the world. I'm telling you.
I see.
That is why some of them, if not guided, may be led into abuse of certain things. From that point, you'll be surprised. Many people, excuse me, who have become maybe drug or addicted to things, they pick it from those times. Because at that point too, they begin to work in groups. They begin to form
peers. That's where the peer pressure
so
comes in.
That is where it comes from. Everybody wants to feel belonging. They want to feel belonging. And generally, they want to feel belonging. They want to share love and all those things. But on a general or some study shows that at that time they are not sexually active.
Okay.
Generally, they are not sexually active, but they want to laugh, they want to show affection, those kind of things from that point. So as they move in groups, as they move in gangs, as a parent, one, you have a responsibility to put eye on your child. And at the same time, the group. You must be mindful of the group. If you want to deal with your child at that time, the direct focus should not be on your child. Look at the group leader.
Really?
Yes.
Wouldn't that amount to you poking your nose into
crossing boundaries?
That is why
that's
why I'm guiding you. If you focus on your child, if you are not careful, at that point, your child take orders from the
leader of the group.
The leader than you.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
They may take, so if you are able to influence the leader, the leader's influence to your child will become positive.
But I'm also thinking that some teens do not want to, be part of groups, and maybe they are more fixated on their phones, other materials.
We will get to that too. In recent time, maybe in our time, we don't have phones.
Yeah.
So you want physical meetings,
Yes.
you go to play, you go to do games, you do things more outdoor than recent time.
Yes.
The story is a bit different. You see young people or teenagers, they are always indoors, holding to their phone. Sometimes you can imagine kind of things
that they are watching,
kind of things they are chatting on, kind of things. So parents at this time, you're in a serious position
Battle.
to because before you even open the door, they close the phone already. How would you know
what they are doing?
What is watching, what is checking? That is why it is very important. At that point, because they are also developing, and the boys, their voices will start breaking, and they want to show the small father.
They start having wet dreams as well.
Yes. So most times, parents, let me take it. Fathers, some of them cannot tolerate. So fathers, in a way, behave in two ways. Some of them will not even care. Some of them to overdo it.
Okay.
And the other group too may just be in the middle.
Okay.
But it's better to be in the middle. Put an eye on your son. Have a time with him at all time. Try to influence things he or she should be watching or reading. If they may not be willing to expose.
Wouldn't that also amount to them being you invading their privacy, sort of, because you wanting to also be around them often and all that? Because then, as much as they want to detach themselves at that point and be their own man or woman, you're also trying as much as possible to get closer to them.
Yes.
Wouldn't that amount to some conflicts?
It doesn't amount to any conflict. Depends on how you manage the home. When you say privacy in context, like, for example, if you're a father and your daughter in her room, maybe
she just finished taking a bath or dressing.
Quickly you intrude, those ones are not correct.
Okay.
But a whole day, a child is indoor, and if a father or a mother call on a child to come out, it's not invading of privacy. So manage their timing. Don't allow them to be too closet in the closet. Manage the time. At least from morning, by night she should come out. Do some house chores. Have some conversation. Send him or her out. Maybe go to work with you if you have a private business or sort. So engage them on activities that
on daily,
yes, plan their life. Help them plan their life, because most times they are just there sleeping, lazy. It's part of you need to help them appreciate how to live a balanced life.
Rev, you mentioned earlier the first point that you said about being able to manage the leader of the gang. That is when they form a group. How easy or how difficult it is? Because then you need to let him or her into you to expose the kind of group she belongs to or he belongs to before you're able to know. So imagine if the group is, say, around that time you should be in junior high.
Yes.
I remember I completed junior high at the age of 15.
Yes.
So you should be in junior high when you start around 14, 15 thereabout. So, or possibly in the other teens being in senior high. The group, let's say they are in school, how do you get to know about the group he or she is in and be able to manage the gang leaders, if I should put it?
Oh, yes. So, at least a good parent should have knowledge about your child. We are not talking like your child is living in isolation. Your child comes back home from school, you have conversations with him, he will tell you his friends.
Okay.
He will tell kind of things they do in school. If you build that rapport to communicate.
Okay.
Communication is one thing we will look at. Effective communication with your team. Effective and assertive communication is very, very important. If you leave the person develop a certain line and close communication with you, and you want to force it in, it creates problem. That's why you see it as difficult. But develop that communication. Even before you go to school, you set some boundaries for the child. You see, another point we will look at is setting boundaries. You as a father or a mother or a parent, you must assume your power or your authority as the leader of the home. Let the child know right from the takeoff. Before you go to school, you should know the father, the powers that belongs to the father, the powers that belong to the mother. For the father, you are growing doesn't mean you are a man on your own. You are not. They must know your powers when necessary. So once they have that knowledge, they give that reverence to you. They respect that position. So your child cannot bring anybody to the house at any time. He can't do anything at any time. He should know his limits, that he is still under a certain care. But if you allow the child to feel and days, come home, smoke, do anything, especially in Africa, smoking is not accepted as a social norm in our culture. So when you see a child start doing that, my friend, you don't do that in this house. You don't do that. And call the child and educate him about.
Sometimes they hide these things from parents.
You can't know everything. What you know is what you can control. And I'm telling you, the environment, it is how you prepare your child. That is where he should be leading to. Yes.
But we had a conversation with another Reverend Minister here, and then he mentioned two key things when it comes to child's development: their nature and their nurture. So the nature is what they naturally come with. The nature is what you impart into them. So at a point, there's a conflict between these two.
Good.
So at that point, is that where they begin to show who they really are? Because let's not forget about temperament also. They might have somebody might be melancholic, sanguine, choleric, and all those things.
Those things.
Well, not necessarily.
Not that is bad.
But I'm saying that it comes with it. It comes with the nature of the person or the child.
Everybody else.
So exactly at that point of their lives, being a teen, is that when that thing begin to be more like open, visible to
some of them will come there. A lot of them will not even appear there at all, because you see some children that will be very quiet at the teen age, but let them finish school and see the kind of things they will do.
That's true.
Yeah, so a lot of things don't even come around there. A lot of things are psychological, or things they see, or things they are hearing. At that point, it is more about what they see, what they aspire to be. So the exposure they have at that time influences their life.
Okay.
Some of them will grow beyond that to know that, after all, I'm not to be. You see that that point is very critical for me. I'm mentioning society, environment. I don't know how we are getting it. Most of them, as at that time, will be, like you are saying, finishing JHS, going to secondary school, and in secondary school, most teenagers take wrong courses in secondary school because of peer pressure, because of, for example, when we were in secondary school, most people who are a little brilliant rush into the science class.
Exactly. It's always the
once
case.
you are in a science class, you are seen as a brilliant
student.
or a smart person. But some of them grow up to know that they are not even supposed to do science. And they regret and realize they wasted their time. If they have done business or arts, they could have been a better off persons.
Sure.
But they were influenced by that environment that prepare people, or that make you feel if you are doing science, then you are something. So at that point, if your parents do not get that intuition and guide you, my son, so fine, I can use myself as the best example. My son, when he's in the those ages, fine, he's still there though. I always have a conversation with him, we chatting with him. What do you want to be? What do you want to be? Anything he mentioned, I don't stop it. I will allow him. He will say, first say, oh, I want to be a pilot.
We all said that once upon a time.
But me, when
actually
I
went to even a school, I chose a school that has to do with pilot school, but I didn't go. Later, I had to be brought back to Ghana. It was then in Nigeria, though.
Okay. So, when I study him, I know he's not very strong in science and mathematics. So I know eventually
he will shift.
But I usually stop it. I push it. Oh yeah.
So we're supposed to be the cheerleaders of your children, and like whatever they decide to do, you should be a cheerleader, like supporting them.
Yes, at that time, don't stop them. Let them think, expose them to think they are champion. Guide them, allow them to think. It opens their mind. That one, it opens their mind. So it's one good thing I think I've done to my son, even though I know, because knowing what goes into, when I look at his results, I know there's something that will drop him along the line. So when he's growing, we will be discussing always, the pilot, how far? But your science is not good, your maths, so Daddy, I'll do it. Eventually, and he's getting to the tail end. He called me one day, we communicate a lot. Say, Daddy, this pilot thing, I won't do it. I said, oh, why? Then coincidentally, you see, those times there were some plane crashes. And the way this plane
but those are force majeures, like natural disaster that happened. I remember when I was going to write my BEC too, when we were supposed to choose schools for SSS. I went to boys' school, JSS, and it's Catholic school. So I thought automatically, most of them who graduated went to the senior high school that was all Catholic. It was easy for them because they know they're coming from a Catholic school. So I was going to go to Augustine's. But I went back home, my father was like, no. Our tradition, my grandfather had gone to Infantspoon school. So he wanted me to be there. So just to carry on the tradition, sort of. And his cloth crumble that he used was even there for me to use. So I had to go back and change. And then I was supposed to do, I chose visual art. I was very good with drawing. So he wanted me to do that. He himself was an architect and like a construction man. So I think I got that from him. So he wanted me to do that. But I got into the school now. I feel like visual art. I went there first time and I saw the visual art guys always dirty. Clays. And I'm the kind of person, I'm very neat. I don't like that. So I'm the clay by year and that kind of thing. So I was like, no, I'm still going to do it. And I switched to do general art. I told him about it though, but I enjoyed what I was doing. I went to Art 4 and he was okay with it gradually. But it's not every child who is probably able to switch like that, like your son at this point, because the father influenced right from beginning. Okay, since you want to do this, go ahead, and I'm going to support you all the way. When the child comes back and said, The pilot and I'm kind of my sister might send me something else. But the father was like, no.
Some parents are not like that.
Yeah, they even decide children before they are even born.
Exactly.
You maybe because he's a doctor, he wanted to be a doctor and whatever. But what I learned from my son in that was that even though I know the piloting, knowing the person he could not do it, he began to develop things, aviation have a
very wide
thing. So he was thinking in one of his projects where he was able to translate. You see, when you enter plate first, the guide and those things they will read to you. One of the projects he did is to translate it into to vernacular.
Oh, okay.
And share with Iowa, they call him, he did presentation for them and all that. Because you expose him to the environment, he was thinking through, he has started coming out with things in very innovative way.
Okay.
He understands. Anytime we travel, I don't know how he identifies the pilot. He will go and greet the pilot. You see?
I see.
So expose them, they can do a lot of things. They can think big, even though you're not a pilot. In future, you could develop a business
in
that
space.
you see. So allow them to think, but help them, guide them. Don't let them remain in their own world. Don't let only their peer leader to influence totally. Because sometimes they are all at the age, but they don't have that experience you as a parent you have. So parents too is important. We learn, we read, we see things. We are able to communicate effectively with our teens.
That time,
the controversy is very strong, especially on the women. Mothers they find it difficult to communicate with their teens, especially the ladies. Because at that time, their expectations, mothers don't have. You need to have a big heart. That is a point I want to make. To nature or guide teens, you need a strong and a big heart. Very accommodative.
Okay. Our very first question on WhatsApp has to do with the career pattern. It says that at what point do you tell your teen a particular career pattern is not good for him or her?
Yeah, so what I do from my studies, I did a bit of human resource management. So what I learned to know is, you see, the human being you see is multi-skilled. You can do many things at many times. And I don't play, I always kept saying environment. You may not understand all, but we need to appreciate it. Your environment determines a lot of things. Many people will leave Ghana, when they get to United Kingdom, they become nurses, whether they like it or not. But the environment demands that when you enter there, you do that thing. When I enter Bank of Ghana first, at that time, when you are a chartered accountant, your promotion is fast track. So most of our colleagues were all rushing to do accounting. I tried several, I realized, no, I can't be a good accountant. But at the time, the environment was influencing me. So coming back to your question, at what time do you, like I said, even you yourself, you cannot know exactly the career of your child. So in career guidance, you monitor the person, you guide the person, let the person bring out issues, discuss it. You as a parent always watch your child's results. Result first, because that is a scientific test on the person's ability. So look at the areas he's doing well, the areas he's not doing too well. You, a father or mother, may be interested in your child being a doctor or a scientist, but if he's not doing well in science, don't push the person too much into it. You see, unfortunately, our educational system, largely, I say it doesn't help us.
True.
You told me right now that you have interest in visual arts. And if that is what God wants you to be, if that is what you are, it is good to have to know mathematics.
Yeah.
But the question is, if you don't pass mathematics, you can't go to university
Exactly.
and continue to study
Exactly.
visual art. What is the relationship?
No.
What has it got to do with that? If you don't speak good English, you can't go to university and learn.
Unfortunately, that's our education
drawing.
system. Yeah.
You see the problems. So if your child is not doing well in mathematics, but visual arts, music, he has 100%. But for the environment or reasons, he cannot go. So you as a parent, when you watch that, begin to tilt your child's interest towards where he's doing well. Watch him at home. Sometimes even the whole academic thing, he will not be doing well in it.
Yeah.
But when you watch him at home, when you watch your son, your daughter, the way you converse with him, you will be getting what this child wants to do. Like I said, fine, my son says he wants to be a pilot. I know maybe along the line he will drop because of certain things. And when we were going, he get to a point, he sent me an email, Daddy, I don't want to do this. I said, what do you want to do? Then he sent me another email, I want to be a businessman and a politician. then I sent him an email. I said, give me 10 reasons why you want to be a businessman and 10 reasons why you want to be a politician. After he sent the mail to him, I'm convinced. I was convinced that yes, this guy can go to that area. And I began to study him at school. In school, my son has, he has body, very strong. Even when he touch you like this, you are not careful, you fall down. So in school, they will call me, your son has beaten somebody. He's fighting. They will always have problems. And when you go to the school and you watch, you see that he is somebody who will not like people to take advantage of the underprivileged people. So when you attempt to do that, he fights you.
Okay.
I went to the principal. He himself told me when he studied the guy, even though the law say we must punish them, but he saw that he can be a good leader. You see?
Yeah.
Even though academically, he's not that first class person.
Yeah.
But he can think outside the box. And if I tell you the kind of thing this guy bombarded me with every day, certain things, his visions, his ambitions, you don't need to stop you. Allow him
Let them dream on
as well. I'll be guiding them.
Okay.
You see, so I would say the way we live in, guide people to get to their destination. They may make mistakes, it's okay. Don't kill them because they make mistakes. At that point, at those ages, when the mistakes are mad, when they are mad, treat it with humor, correct it with humor. Do you understand?
Okay.
Don't punish them if it is mild one, but if it is a serious mistake, give the consequences. Punish them and show them the consequences of the serious mistakes they commit.
Okay, Rev, it looks like we'll just brush the surface of this conversation. There's a lot of pointers I realize you have that we're going to share with us, and then also the part where I also got that you deprive them of certain privileges just as a source of punishment to them. You also mentioned communication as very vital in there, what we have not been able to touch on. So hopefully we want to continue this conversation next week. Unfortunately, our time is up. So hopefully we might crave your indulgence to come around again before you do the opening of your church.
Okay, which will be an opportunity to invite more people, and even the whole station to cover us on that.
Sure. So we'll have you back again so that we get into details about all these things, the part of the child, the part of the parents, and what they can do to help each other and all. Unfortunately, our time is up. So I want to say thank you very much for coming through. We just spoke to Reverend David Kofi Uwaku. He happens to be the lead pastor of Life Ahead Vision Ministry, and then he's opening his church, a brand new one, sitting about 200 to 300 capacity, the Kosombo Road after Tamamoto way roundabout. Look for the Sky filling station just at the end of the overpass. You see his church over there. It's very visible for you to see. 9 a.m. Saturday, be there to support this man of God and his vision that he has for the country. So we'll take a quick detour now, and when we come back, the man JK will be seated with our guests to talk about painting in the garden. Quite interesting, you want to listen to. We'll be right back.
Would you like to own a home, start a business, provide seed money, or a good education for your children? The Pro Wealth Plan answers all of life's questions. This is Ekwa 9. She wants to be an engineer in future. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Hammond, plan to give her the best education but don't want to be unnecessarily burdened when she's ready for university in 10 years. Do you know how much it will cost Ekwa to go to a local private university or university abroad in the next 10 years? Ekwa's parents have signed up to a Pro Wealth Plan. They pay affordable monthly premiums that ensures they are able to fund Ekwa's university fees and living expenses. When she's ready for university, Prudential will pay the maturity benefit and her parents can enjoy free insurance cover for an additional 5 years. In the unfortunate event that her parents pass away, Prudential will pay over 200% of the sum assured, which is 100% immediately, 10% annually to keep Ekwa in her current school, and 100% at maturity for her chosen university. This means that Prudential Life has guaranteed Ekwa's education regardless of life's uncertainties. The Pro Wealth Plan also covers a spouse or partner up to the same sum assured. With over 26 million customers, 24,000 employees globally, and over 170 years experience, you and your family can have peace of mind knowing that you are in safe hands. Whatever your financial goals are, the Pro Wealth Plan has the answers to life's questions. Call us today and let Prudential secure your future.
Okay, so a wonderful Friday is right here again, and this is Healthy Morning, and we're zooming straight into the healthytainment segment. But today we're going into the gardens. We're going to talk about art. We're going to talk about painting. How well do you appreciate all these things? So today I have with me here a concept developer and also, you know, the brains behind Paint in the Garden. I have Ebusia with me today. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're all smiles.
Yeah.
I hope everything is cool.
Everything is good. Everything is good. I mean, we have life. The sun is shining.
Exactly.
You know, we can breathe air for free. And as I was coming here, if you look at GBC, there are a lot of trees around.
Trees, the greens
just,
and all.
oh my goodness. I mean, if you have this, what else do you need?
Nice one. We're far behind time.
Okay.
Quickly, let's go into the gardens.
All right.
What is happening there?
All right, so we have this concept we call paint in the garden.
Okay.
You know, basically, a lot of us are growing into a system where houses are built like blocks.
Okay.
Everything is air conditioned and artificial. We are losing that natural touch that we had as Africans and Ghanaians, where if you walk out of your house, you see trees, you see cocoyam, you see the birds, you see the hens running around. You know, we are losing touch with humanity and with nature, and we are becoming more artificial and connected to machines. And if you understand something about creations, when you have a car, you don't put certain things into it. Good. So the human being was also created from nature. You know, so as you put the human being away from nature, you're actually subtly killing and destroying the human nature. Paint in the Garden is looking at bringing us back to our nature, back to what we are, back to who we are, in a very relaxing, enjoying, and creative and fun way.
Nice.
You know, yes. So it's an idea where people gather together, friends, families, everybody, in the garden. Parks and Gardens, Department of Parks and Gardens, where we teach you how to paint. But not just paint, but we teach you how to paint plants, trees, and flowers, and then also teach you how to set up a small garden. You know, at the end of the course, you're supposed to be able to have a little garden wherever you are. The garden is supposed to be for pleasure, and then it's supposed to be also for eating.
For eating.
Yes, because you see, a lot of people are planting grasses around their houses. It is just pleasure. But you can plant grass and plant a little bit of cocoyam.
Okay.
You save a little bit of money. You can plant some tomato. It is not just green. When it ripes, it changes from green to yellow to red. That is beauty of color. So that's a brief of the concept that we are trying to introduce to Ghanaians, and we want Ghanaians to come and relax, paint, be creative, and then to enjoy nature.
Great. So how many years so far doing this?
Okay, so we started this initiative just this year, actually in July. All right, so it's been running for a month. Yeah, and it happens every Sunday. Every Sunday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Department of Parks and Garden. And it's been awesome. I mean, if you've ever been there, anybody who comes, at first they are a little, I've not painted before. I don't even know how to hold a brush. I don't even know. But by the time they are done with the session, the raves are just like on point.
Amazing.
Super.
So within the short period, let's say, how's the reception been so far? How people responding to it?
People are just excited. People are like, I want to come every day. Every day, because when you come, we just don't teach you to love to paint and to want to paint. We actually teach you how you can apply art lessons to your practical life, how you can apply art lessons to your job life, how you can apply art lessons to your relationships, and then how you can pick some lessons from nature and then apply it to your life. Let me give you an example. If you study trees, as the trees are growing and as they are climbing higher, every part of the tree becomes thinner and lighter. So the trunk is stronger and harder, but the branches become thinner. You know what the lessons from that in life? The higher you go, solving problems become easier because your strength from the ground and the experiences you've had, now makes it easier to carry the distance. So this is an example of just how, when you are learning how to draw a tree, the lessons you can learn from it that can encourage you in your personal life or at business.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Quite interesting.
It is.
One there. We will have people who wouldn't want to find themselves in the gardens. Do you have private tutorials or things you do? All
right. So basically, like we said, the objective is to bring people close to nature. But if you are not interested in coming even to the place, if you have a home, we actually do private tuition. We can come to you, arrange a date and a time, paint with you wherever. We even encourage businesses. There are so many benefits for painting. A lot of people haven't studied and know that emotionally, psychologically, creatively, memory retention, thinking, problem solving skills, you'll be amazed at what painting can do to you, and even how you deal with human beings. When you are patient with the art, with the color, with the drawing, it teaches you to be very patient with people. You understand the nuances in human beings and etc. So we actually encourage businesses, groups, associations, to connect with us. Then we come to them maybe once a month. At the end of the month, the HR department can say that, okay, you've worked for like 1 month, you are stressed and tired in a block environment. You are bringing the artists together. Come, they'll teach you, you relax. It is like therapy. It's actually therapy, and those of you who know, sometimes when people even have trauma, some drastic experiences in life, they actually encourage them to undergo a painting therapy, because of the effects they have on your emotional development. So organizations, churches, schools, especially children, groups, even when you are doing your bachelorette party, or even you're having
even birthday parties, we have people, doing drawings and all.
Yes. The application is awesome. It's just up to you to just say that I want to do something beautiful for my friends, or for my family, or for my group, or for my association, students association, and we'll come there, we set up for you. People will love you for that.
Great. That brings me to the question of allergies. We have people who react to grass and type of trees and all that. What are the plans for these kind of people?
All right, so it is actually strange that you should react to nature. What we've observed is that when people start reacting to something, especially natural things, usually it is because they were introduced to something artificial more than nature itself. Of course, there are the situations where originally people come up with general nature, like the sunflower or the haze in the air, etc., and etc. So things like that, if we realize that you have those little challenges, we try to create an environment for you where look, sit here, let's do it here, so that the things that trigger your allergies are not activated. The one thing you can help with virtually almost all allergies, taking away the thing that triggers it's being outside in nature. It never goes against it. We actually encourage that be out there under the sunshine, in the fresh air, with the trees and with the gardens, because the atmosphere is cool. It is original air condition, So yes, there are things that can help you if you have allergies. If you start painting in the garden, in the open space and under the sun, that will help fight the allergies. But there are some that are really I mean, unique to an individual, and those ones, yeah, you need some medical listing to attend to them. Yeah.
Nice one. And there was one word I was quite interested in.
Yeah.
That was the Gold After.
Gold After.
When we talk about Gold After, what goes into that?
All right, so Gold After is a project that is encouraging the paint in the garden vision. All right, and Gold After is just a statement of gold after. You know, if you have studied anything in the arts period or in the arts sector, you start to appreciate an artwork after a period of spending time with it. Again, also the value of art pieces as the years grow increase. You know, so what we want to bring to Ghanaians is how you can start purchasing artworks and investing in artworks. Okay, that 10 years from now you bought it for maybe 2 Ghana cedis. 10 years from now you'll be able to sell it for, let's say, 200,000 Ghana cedis. You know, so that's the concept for Gold After that. We want you to start appreciating that certain values and awesome experiences come after an experience, after you've bought the artwork, after you've invested in it, you know. And so that's the concept for Gold After. We promote paintings and artworks in the country. We organize exhibitions, art exhibitions, you know, we encourage people to paint and to go into the art industry because it's a huge economy. It's so huge that it can actually feed the country.
Wow.
You know, yeah, and every child, let me show you an example. Every child is automatically first an artist. Before we take them to school to force them to write like science works.
By the crayons
you
and things.
You know. So we naturally start scribbling creatively before we are forced to scribble squares. You know, so in everyone is the love for nature, for art, and for painting. And Gold After is trying to make Ghanaians appreciate this more. You go to certain offices and all you see is cold walls. Come to us. We actually will come to the office, do an audit of your office for you, and recommend paintings and artworks that when you put there, even when people walk into the office, your workers are working, computer screen, they just turn their face, and then it just releases some pressure. It just changes your ambience internally, emotionally, and everything, you know. So that is the basic listing for Gold After, and that is what is promoting paint in the garden, you know, to draw people to the nature into painting. But there's one thing I also want to talk about. The paint in the garden is not just painting like we said. It is connecting you to nature and helping you to want to grow plants. And then we are trying to also fight climate change. You see, the typical Ghanaian will not go out and go and plant trees. But we are destroying trees. Look at the developments going around. I mean, we cut down trees for roads, we cut down trees we are actually destroying the oxygen we breathe. The plants that keep us, you know, the natural cycles. So what we are trying to do, okay, is to help in the fight against climate change. The more people appreciate the plants and the flowers, the more they'll be interested in what? Plants and flowers, and the more they would encourage them, and the more they would want it in their houses, in their offices, and wherever they are. So it's also a core objective to fight climate change, you know, in the country. And we think that if people fall in love with paint in the garden, they start painting flowers and artworks and the nature, we can help a little bit to contribute to climate change. So organizations that are interested in promoting climate change or helping people to plant more trees, etc., they should connect with us. I mean, we can join together, come up with concepts and stuff, and see how we can get their members to also fall in love with nature.
That's amazing. And ever since you started, have you had any governmental support? Okay,
so the first support we've had is from the Department of Parks and Gardens. I mean, they have been awesome. I mean, let me say it again, they've been awesome. You know, they are supposed to be in charge of gardenings and parks in the country, Ebri, etc. And their place is awesome. It's a beautiful place. And they've supported this vision, you know, because as we are promoting the gardening materials and then the plants we use, we're also promoting their products, you know, and the Department of Parks and the Garden, which is a government institution, has been very supportive, and we really appreciate their support. The people there, awesome. The Reverend, the head acting director, I mean, the assistants that are there, they are awesome people you should work with. I mean, you should pass by the place. You'll love the place.
We'll make it happen. Sure. So if someone wants to jump on this project and all that, how do we reach out to you?
All right. So my number is very easy to recollect. 0560 700 700.
0560
700 700. Just give me a WhatsApp, give me a call, or if you're on social media, just go to Gold After. It is Gold. The after is AFTA. Gold After on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or just 0560. Take it as a Tigo Airtel number, and just add 700, 700, and you'll be able to connect with us. We come to you, we have a conversation. We see how we can bring your people there, or we can have a collaboration to get your people painting, and then helping them, you know, to develop and then to love what they were created into.
Nice. So let's talk about the days you do this painting and all that. When are the days?
It happens every Sunday.
Okay.
Every Sunday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Each session is actually supposed to be like 2 hours, all right, where we teach you the basics. You don't need to know how to paint at all. I mean,
I'm very terrible with painting. So
look, if you spend 2 hours with us, there's nothing basically you can't draw to start with, and then we make you touch the color. You know, it's actually a 3-month course.
A 3-month course.
Yes, a 3-month course. You know, but people have not catch that vision yet. So people usually come just once, maybe a Sunday. So this Sunday somebody's coming, next week Sunday. So you just can walk in, but you need to register. Register before you come, you know, because when you are done with the painting, you actually take it home and you go and hang it in your room or show it to your friends, etc. So it goes at a little fee. I mean, just like some 150 Ghana cedis, you know.
So the painting you do yourself, you're supposed to pay. Because how's it going?
All right, so it's the session that we take you through, the lessons we are taking you through, the materials that we give to you. If you come, you actually get a drink and chips whilst you are painting, the ambience and everything, and then the teaching, you know, and then the canvases, you know. So when you are done with the painting, you actually take it home, you know, and then you can go and hang it in your place. So at a small registration fee, come and spend time with family. I mean, with fiancé or with Bay, you know. You know.
Come with Bay and do some painting. So what will be your final words to Ghanaians?
There is so much pressure. I mean, the dollar is going up. There are wars everywhere. Families are struggling. People are fighting each other. There's too much negativity. You know, spending 2 hours or 3 hours to just relax, to just enjoy, to just express and be creative. We need it. It can actually stop somebody from committing suicide. It can actually grow love between you and your partner. It can actually encourage your workers or the members of your association or your group to even be more active and want to contribute to what happens. So I just want to tell Ghanaians that there's so much we can learn from the creative sector and from the arts sector. And this opportunity to come and do something that some may never do in all their lives, at just a small fee at the Department of Parks and Gardens, is something we should capture. We should encourage people and we should promote it. They should just reach out to us. I mean, they'll enjoy it. They'll enjoy it.
We're really humbled having you on the show today, and I believe you talking today is going to change the perception when it comes to painting and all that. Thanks very much again.
Thank you.
All right, so viewers, it's been an amazing week right here on HSTV from Monday through till now. You know, Diego coming in, Stephanie coming in. We're talking about social issues. We're giving you what's trending here in Ghana, and also when I'm seated, you know, we go straight into the world of entertainment. A quick shout out going out to the production team, my producer Shadrach, and everybody in the MCR, and to you, our viewers. You know, without you, Healthy Morning and HSTV wouldn't be here. But today, to remind you, I'll be on again on Lunchbox exactly at 1 p.m. So have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe wherever you are. Have a good morning.